thanks for coming. And my name is Paul Lake. I'm one of the founding mentors of the Buchanan Bird Brains robotics team. So this is coming up will be my 16th season involved in this. So I've been doing this for a long, long time. And one of the things that we've done in our team in the last, actually it's been quite a while now, we formed a booster club, and the booster club is a very effective asset to our team. So I'd like to share the evolution of our booster club with other people, and so that maybe you too can have a booster club that can help your team be successful. Here's what I'd like to talk about is I'd like to give you a little history about our booster club and what our booster club does for our team, how we communicate and organize, and then offer some suggestions for getting started if your team doesn't have a booster club. And then I also have some boosters here with me, Gabriella and Ryan. They are both parents on the team, and Ryan was a parent on the team, but his son graduated, but he's still a mentor for us and a coach, and does great work for us too. So, but he was one of our. You'll see him in the presentation here in a second. Okay, when we started our team in the fall of 2004, and we were kind of a grungy little team and just trying to survive. And but our team over a few years it grew to be more than 60 kids on our team now. I think we have about 80 active students on our team now. So we had a lot of competitions to go to, and we had to feed the kids and raise money and do all kinds of stuff. So and getting all that organized, it was pretty stressful for me at the time. And so things kind of happened. In 2011, this young lady joined our team, and as Callie Carvajal, and these are her parents. And when she joined our team, we were just starting to really kind of take off as a team. They offered to help out, and in the year before, we had Team 1422 there at a school near us, and they lost their place to build their robot. So we just got this brand new building. We call it the Energy Academy, but we got this brand new building, and so we invited them to build with us. We have plenty of space, so we both used that space to build our robots that season. I think that was Logo Motion 2011. And one of the things we noticed was they had a much smaller team than ours, but when it got to be about 6 o'clock in the evening, our kids would scatter to go eat. They go Taco Bell, or they go to all these different fast food places, and they're all constantly distracting themselves, arranging who's going to buy what for whom and all that. And it really made our team inefficient. But this 1422, they had a couple of grandmas that were making this awesome food and bringing it to the shop, and they would just all go eat, take about a half an hour off, and then they would go back to work. And so very efficient, and it was fun. And they invited us to come share some of their food as well. And so when they joined our team, we talked about it, Shelly Carvajal, and we said, hey, why don't we do the same thing? And she goes, oh, that sounds great. So the first thing that what evolved into our booster team was mainly about feeding the kids during build season on those Fridays and Saturday nights when we're there till when, because you guys do this too. So the Bird Brains, one of their main jobs is to feed the team. And you might see some of our parents that are here, if they have the shirt that has the it's their official bird brain, a bird feeder. They have a bird feeder shirt. The only way a parent can get that shirt, we don't sell it. It's not. Is they have to earn it by helping feed the kids. And if they do a certain number of meals for the kids, then we get them the bird feeder shirt. So feeding the team is really important. I already mentioned this. Friday, Saturday nights, they're quite late. Fast food is not very healthy, and it's costs a lot of money. So when we got families started bringing in food, it was much healthier. It was a lot cheaper, and it was a lot more fun. And we really kind of gelled around those meals as a team. And so that's kind of what they did at first. And here's kind of an example of one of those nights. And here's a bunch of the parents, and they would just bring, crock pots full of. It was like a potluck, every Friday and Saturday night. And
do you see Ryan?
Oh my God!
Really?
Can you point it out to us?
Yeah, this says it all right here. You now know Ryan, but by looking at that picture. And
I didn't sign a waiver.
so it was good, and so they started organizing themselves to do other things, like this is at one of our events. It might have been like let's see, so I'll say around Christmas. So this is probably at an FLL event that we were putting on, and they would feed the team for that, but also they would run things like they started doing a little bit of fundraising. Then and during competition, and these parents would travel with the team. They would provide food and help with supervision and transportation, meals, lunch, sometimes dinner, and again, no need for fast food runs at competitions. Now, most teams are doing this, and I know that this probably isn't new to most of you, but it is one of the main functions. We depend on our booster club to feed the team when we are at competitions and during build season. And they do a great job with it. So here they are at these various competitions, and people go to now. One of the things that we do for our competitions is we do ask our parents, the parents who can afford it, to pay for the transportation and lodging costs and food costs for them when we go to competitions. And so one of the things we do is we come up with an estimate of how much this trip is going to cost per kid, divided by the number of kids we're going to take. So come up with an estimate, and then some of that money that we collect from families goes to help defray the costs for food at competitions. During build season, when we're doing feeding the kids, we don't reimburse parents, so that's donation. That's considered a donation, but this is a bit much, feeding 40-something kids. So they save the receipts, and then they get it to me, and then they get reimbursed for it. And the funds for that comes from the donations that we ask from families. One of the things that we've done several times, we have a potluck night where the boosters really kind of help organize it, but we invite all the parents and extended family to come for family potluck night. And if you've never done a family potluck night, it's really fun. We usually try to do it kind of later in the build season, so the robot is kind of, there's something for them to see, but obviously we're not finished yet. And the boosters help organize that, and it's really a lot of fun. Then a couple years later, the boosters started getting involved in. They started becoming a bigger group, and they started fundraising for us. And so we have various ways that our booster club raises money. I think if we add it up, they probably raise about $5,000 or $6,000, enough to pay for a registration fee or something like that. At least with these specific things. And we have other parents and community contacts who raise money and beyond just our booster club. But they host snack bars. And we put on an FLL competition, our team does, and they have a snack bar, and we make really good money from that snack bar. We put on a couple of rummage sales over the years. This is my favorite fundraiser. Joe's not here, but Joe Baker, I mean, he's here, but he didn't come. But he organizes our poker night, and if you have a little, like a poker casino in there, they really like good relations with the community, and so they'll help you put on a poker night fundraiser. The only time I ever play poker is at our poker night fundraiser, and it is so much fun, and it's probably the easiest fundraiser for the team that we have. I think we usually clear 2,000 to 3,000 from it, and it's one night, and obviously kids can't go. It's strictly an adult thing. This is the advantage of having a booster club, is that you can put on fundraisers that kids cannot participate in. There's certain things that, it's some rather adult behavior going on at poker night, and it's really fun. They've also been really good about soliciting financial and material donations. Both Ryan and Gabriella here are really good at that, going out into the community and finding things like we had, I think, Bobby Salazar's fed us, and I think that was your contact, and Ryan's gotten metal and materials from different places, and Costco, of course. We have so much water from Costco. It's amazing. We could fill a swimming pool with the bottled water that we have. And then they also go out and solicit silent auctions at certain team special events. One thing that we've done, I think we put on 3 of them over the years, is a dinner dance. And that's a lot. It's kind of problematic. We might revisit this and come back to do something like this. We tried to combine it with other teams in our area to put on a big kind of gala and have silent auction and stuff. And we did raise some money, and it was fun. But it was a lot of work. Of all of these, the ones that probably was the easiest was, it's fun, it's poker night. A snack bar makes a lot of money, and so on. So we have different ideas too going on for raising money. And so the boosters, they meet and they brainstorm about how to raise money for the team. And like here's snack bar. She's funny. I just saw her she works at Bevmo now. I ran into her at Bevmo. Anyway, and then here's the Rummage Sale, selling stuff. And this is the flyer that we made for it. And there's Ryan again.
He's shy.
Yeah, he's
Well, I had the model with clothes, so
yeah. He's a male model in his spare time. And
that was pretty much everything.
so here's our school parking lot. We went out there, and I think we made about $1,400 from that particular one. And money helps. I always say robots don't run on electricity; they run on money. And then at all the different events, we have a parent night. We have Bear Bash, which is a big thing our school does. Our entire school puts on as a fundraiser. A lot of athletic programs, but of all the non-athletic programs, we're probably have the biggest presence at the Bear Bash. And we make like desserts and other things we donate to the Bear Bash, and people bid on it, and that money comes back to our team. We have our kickoff event. We have our open house and dinner dance, and so on. We collect silent auction items, and people that we invite, they can bid on that, and we scrape together some money that way. Oh, we have this place called the 500 Club, and it really is a super fun way to raise money. So look around in your community. If there is I have to bring a little cheat sheet because I don't know what the hands are, but it's still really, really fun. One of the things our booster club, one of the first things they did that made us feel like a big kid team, is we were using pickup trucks and so on. And we bought our first trailer. Now we have a bigger trailer now, but this was our first trailer, and they used the money that they raised to buy the team trailer. And you may have seen our pop-up and so on out there with the real nice bird brain logo on it. And they bought that. They buy that kind of stuff for us. And they have some autonomy over what they want to buy for the team they meet. We have, we'll talk about money and accounting for money in a minute. But, so they're a big, that kind of thing's a big help. Now, this is a little out of date, and I meant to add a bullet point to this. How does our booster communicate? There is a booster. We have a private booster, Buchanan Bird Brain Booster Facebook group, and they will use that. We have a program called Sign Up Genius, which I love because it's so. Do any of you know about Sign Up Genius? Yeah, okay. If you're here and you haven't heard of Sign Up Genius before, then this one thing will make it worth coming to the session. Look up Sign Up Genius. It's a way. It's free. It's just one of these online apps that lets you plan an event, get everybody's email that's going to get involved. It sends an email out to them, and they can choose what item. You make a list of items that you need for a certain event, and parents can sign up for that item, and that way everybody knows what to bring and what other people are bringing and stuff like that. It's a super easy way of keeping organized for that. We don't really use email so much, but one thing that we're kind of moving away from Facebook. And have you all heard of Slack?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of teams are using Slack within their team, but our booster, we have a booster channel on Slack. Slack is an online communication tool, and it's much nicer. I mean, Facebook is, I don't know, a lot of people are like, I don't want to even be on Facebook. So Slack is kind of nice because it's not a social media. It's not social media. It's an online communication tool, and you can form a channel. And it's really easy to download on your phone. It's free. Now businesses have to pay to use Slack, but if you're a nonprofit school team, Slack, we have a free account with them, and I think they want to get all the kids hooked on Slack so that when they become professionals, they'll use their. But hey, smart marketing, smart marketing, and Slack. I really like Slack. So look into that. SLACK, Slack. And you can download it onto your phone. So Facebook was pretty productive, but I should. We used to have parents that were really afraid of Facebook, and so we would have them create phony accounts. They only used for, the boosters, but now with Slack we don't really need to do that. So I need to edit this. Already talked about Sign Up Genius. It is signupgenius.com is the website for it, and wow, it's really good, really good. And that's what the website looks like if you go to it. Now, if you don't have a booster club yet, I guess, I've given this talk several times now, and we always have a discussion at the end, and different schools have different policies, and so our school has a foundation account, and we use the foundation account with our boosters. And so when they raise money, it goes into our foundation account. And it's a 501c3 thing, so people can donate to us and write it off on their taxes. So your school probably has that, as a setup like that. So you should go talk to the principal or somebody at your school and find out what you can do to open an account for your booster team to benefit your robotics team. also, if you're a coach, whatever, find those active parents and say, hey, we're going to start a little group. And ours is still pretty informal. We've never really assigned anybody to be the leader of our booster club. The leaders kind of emerge naturally, and we try to, get along and reach consensus on things. And for the most part, it works really well. We haven't had any major problems. Little problems, but it's people. We're gonna have people problems. But this, if you're a young team and you just start small, and I think one of the nice things about our booster is it did kind of evolve. It's just started with feeding the kids during build season on those Saturday and Sunday nights, and then it kind of, okay, maybe we can feed you guys at competitions because parents were going to competition, and so we kind of integrated that. And hey, maybe we can put on a little fundraiser, and then now they're putting, and it just kind of grew over time. And so one of the things that we do now is we're having our meetings. We have weekly meetings during the non-season, like now on Thursday nights from 5 to 7, and I think every 3 weeks or so we'll have a booster meeting in the last half hour of the student meeting, because usually the parents are there to pick their kids up anyway. A lot of them get picked up, and so that's a nice time to bring for those parents to come to the meeting. So yeah, just so don't, our booster club is pretty involved. They do a lot of stuff, but if you're, like I said, if you're new to this, just start off with feeding the kids, and then move from there. Okay, so we have a parent night at the beginning of early in the fall, and if a kid is going to be on our team, they have to come to parent night. So if you want to start a booster club, have a parent night, and then one of our lead parents gets up and they promote the booster club. They promote it, and they pass out. We have forms they pass out. They have a little questionnaire. We call it talent, treasure, and time or something.
Talent, treasure.
Yeah, and they fill out they fill out a form like, what would you like to contribute to this team? And some families have more money than time. Some families have more time than money, but all of them can contribute in some way to the team. And we're very lucky in our community. A lot of our communities, we have a lot of ethnic diversity on our team, and so the food is great. It's one thing that keeps me coming back to build season is like the food is so good, and we have parents that were born in other parts of the world and they're moved here, but they brought their cuisine with them and they know how to cook. So it's really fun. But anyway, plan a parent night, recruit parents there to join, have a little questionnaire for them, and then immediately schedule a follow-up meeting. Here's one of the slides that I just put this slide on here. This is from a few years ago, but these are some of the parents that were in charge. So we put this up, and I think it was on the flyer that we handed out, and it just tells them what they need to know. This is Denise Karanko. She was one of our most involved parents a few years ago. Her daughter was amazing, and talk about. So we had an agenda for our booster club to discuss with the parents at parent night, and so as we do that, we get all that information, and then we really try to hit them early to get them involved. And once you get those parents involved and they feel welcome and they tend to stay involved with you. If you just say, hey, we're going to do a few things, and you just kind of let it slide, a lot of those parents will evaporate, but so a lot of parents, if you ask them, they will come. If you build it, they will come. And so there we go. And so anyway, it's not a long presentation, but I do want to thank you for coming. And then what we do now is, and you can leave whatever you want. but what I've done in the past, we have really nice discussion and we exchange ideas and so on. Yes.
So do you have any conflict at your school? I know my daughter's school has an athletic boosters club. And I mean, when you have too many organizations in one school, they're all competing for the same
Right,
fundraising resources, all that kind of stuff.
Well,
Have you noticed any conflict with other organizations at your school?
not too bad. I think that at my school, we are very lucky at my school. I mean, and they don't pay me to say this, and I'm retiring at the end of this year, so it doesn't matter. But our administration is so supportive of our team. So, and they look at, we have a very successful athletic program at Canton High School. But they do care about these co-curricular programs. So that's our school. And one of the things we have to do when we do a fundraiser, we have to submit a fundraising request, and then it gets approved. Then it has to go through. I mean, we have to do it 6 weeks in advance. I mean, it's really a pain in the neck.
So you're.
But what they do is they try to make sure that we're all not doing like Chipotle night on the same night.
Does,
Yeah.
So your program is connected to the curriculum at your school?
Yeah, yes, it is, but our team came first. It's a cool thing about one of the things I'm really proud of about our robotics team is our robotics, the success of our robotics team drove our team to kind of create a CTE career pathway in engineering. So and you know, I was told that it was the robotics team that really kind of, there was pressure in that direction. So yeah, I mean, we are.
Ours is just a club right now, so it's completely separate.
But you know what? That's where we were probably from our first season was 2005, and I'd say from about 2005 to 2009, those first seasons we were pretty sketchy. And then in 2010, the fall of 2010. Well, in the spring of 2010, we actually built a pretty decent robot. It was actually pretty competitive. We were really proud of that robot. But we built it in the hallway in the science department, you know, and then at the end of the night, we had to vacuum the floor. And I mean, we were using Makita drills and you know, it was garage technology, you know. And but then we got a new building and things started to snowball and get good. And so the school kind of, they were very supportive of us, though, even when we weren't too great. But what I'm saying is that, the teams that are just starting out, you know, or sometimes you have some low number teams, but they're kind of restarting. You know, you get a new set of parents, the team's kind of faded away, and it's kind of a restart. Just like I said, start small and build every year. And I mean, it's worked for us. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Sort of. I have another question, but it's not specifically related to the booster club, so I'll let other people ask questions first.
Yeah. Anybody?
What's the size of the booster club compared to like the total?
And you know, I think the 80-20, and for the 80-20 rule, it's kind of like that. I would say it's probably 20% of our parents contribute something. I would say probably the majority of our parents drop their kids off and pick them up, you know. Most of them do pay the donation that we're not allowed to charge kids to participate when we go to a competition, but we are allowed to ask for a donation. And one of the cool things that the boosters have spent their money on, we do have kids on our team who cannot pay to come to competitions. I mean, their families can't afford to pay. And so, especially if we qualify for world champs, because world champs is like I mean, when we qualify for world champs, it doubles our expenses for that year. And I mean, we didn't qualify in 2018 because we didn't qualify in 2018, we started off with, I mean, we were rolling in it. We had 25 grand in our account, in our combined. We have an ASB account and a foundation account. But last year we did go to champs, so now we're down to about 7,000. So we have to get back on the fundraising thing, because hopefully we'll go to champs again this year. And yeah. So how many parents? I don't know. We had a pretty good turnout at our last booster meeting. I think we had about 15 parents
About
there.
15 to 18 people.
Yeah.
And half of those were new parents.
Yeah.
So it was,
Yeah.
So
it
your
was
core
great.
parents is a pretty small group.
I'm sorry?
It's a fairly small group for the core parents who are really the ones, like it is in most parent groups. You know,
Yeah.
5 people do all the work, and the 5% do most of the work, and the other 95% help.
I think one of the cool things about Sign Up Genius is that I think using Sign Up Genius has made it easy for the more casually involved parents to contribute. I mean, they'll come in and drop off a vat of nacho cheese, or they'll, or things like that, and and that is helpful when they, even if they just come in and do something like that.
May I say something, Mr. Mayor?
Sure.
I think one of the things that is important as a booster is, if you are a seasoned booster, is to help inform and educate the new oncomers. And that, in my opinion, plays a huge role, because you are creating an excitement of something that they're not aware of. It's not like football and baseball practice. You drop them off and you pick them up. It can become that if you don't educate the parents as to the severity, and it's a big deal. I mean, for some of these kids, the majority, it's their careers. I know it is for my son. And so once you help them understand what is actually taking place, they are so helpful and will financially contribute and will pick up pizzas or create pasta dishes and etc. And so I think that's one of the biggest things that can really create growth if you do that.
Yeah, I
We
think
call it buy-in.
What's that?
We call it buy-in.
I do think that we've been pretty good about trying, we really make an effort to make those new parents feel welcome and part of it. And it's kind of fun. Some of the parent, well, like Ryan's example, his son isn't on the team anymore, but their family's still involved with the team. So some of them will stick around. It's really cool. And then, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to make it sound, I mean, there's been some friction between people before, of course, but for the most part, I think it's been, we've really made it a pretty positive experience for the parents to get involved, and easy. You got to eliminate that friction, so yeah. And you had other questions.
Oh, I am a new parent. My daughter's freshman. This is the first event. I've never seen a robotics competition.
Oh yeah,
before.
it's pretty cool, isn't it?
But some of the things that you've been talking about, like the robotics club does at the beginning of the year, there's a weekend meeting where anybody who's interested comes down and all the kids get to check it out. And do you want to join robotics? And then there's a parent section. That's all done by the mentors of the program, though. As far as I know, you guys don't have, this is one of the new members.
Oh.
There is no parent club or anything. It's really just the mentors, the ones who do all the organizing of everything, right?
I guess. We don't really communicate with the parents too much, except for Mrs. Davis. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I was just thinking, it would be a really great way just to get, the little things like organizing. They do have meals during build season, from what I understand, but getting that over and trying to get a few parents involved. I happen to be one of those parents that, whatever my kid's involved in, that's going to be a priority for me. If that's what she wants to do, I'm going to do whatever I can to make it a good experience for her. But some parents maybe don't know that. I don't know. I just don't know how to, the very first steps, the baby steps. Like, how do you reach out to the parents when there is nothing? Obviously looking into the whole 501(c)(3) thing, but.
Well, I would, are there parents on your team that are as involved as you are or as enthusiastic
I
about
don't,
it?
like I said, this is the very first event I've ever attended. I know that most of the mentors, a couple of the mentors have kids on the team, a couple don't. Do you know if there's any other parents
It doesn't need to be on screen.
besides the mentors? Are there any other parents that are really?
Not like super involved. There's people who are like, something.
Well,
I just haven't been around long enough to know what the
Right,
status is there.
I would, and if you don't have a parent that's taken leadership yet, then take leadership. But start off with very manageable goals. And then, you need to collect information. You could create a flyer saying we're going to start, a little booster club. You might want to investigate, talk to your principal and find out what's involved about starting an account. Your team might already have a foundation type account. See, we have ASB money, and that is, there are like major restrictions on
How it's used.
how that money is used. Then we have foundation money, and the foundation, it's separate from the school kind
I'm
of.
sure they've
but-
got something, there's no way they
Right.
can fund the
Right.
program. It's been around for a while.
Right.
And it's just, my understanding is that just in recent years, it's grown.
Right.
My other things I was thinking about asking is you were talking about, you started off where you just had the club and then it kind of was the impetus for engineering track courses where it actually became cross-curricular with the school.
Right.
Because, if it's part of a magnet program, then the district can provide some funding as well, even if it's minimal. Whereas when you're just a club, you get nothing from the district. And from everything I've seen so far, the school is more tolerant than supportive of the club.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the.
That is very
schools
common.
supportive.
I talked to other teacher advisors and coaches and so on, and it really makes me feel very fortunate that
I just didn't know if
we've
you had any thoughts on how to approach the school as far as, what's required and maybe heading in that direction, because I think it's a very worthwhile education track for the students
Right.
to have those as options for classes as well.
Well,
And it can kind of tie in.
yeah, one of the things that's really big right now, like our district's really big on pursuing grant money. They're pretty successful. And one of the things we had this robotics team, but they also had all these CTE grants from the state. And so by incorporating the robotics team into that grant writing process, we were able to get grants for things like, and it doesn't belong to the robotics team, it's just available to the robotics team. We had things like a Haas mill. You might not know what a Haas mill is, but some of the techie people here, it's a computer numeric controlled professional grade machine that allows us to make a lot of the parts for our robot in-house very quickly and precisely. It's just really, and we used to have to outsource that sort of thing for many years, but now we're able to build in-house. And so the robotics team and our coaches, our technical coaches, I thought, Ryan, were you involved in helping them develop those grants? I know Shahe was and Neighbors
to some
was.
degree.
Yeah. They want to know,
But
they basically said, what do we need to buy?
right.
What, and that sort of thing. So our team helped do that. So now we have this engineering career pathway, but it's also tailored to benefit our robotics team. So, but this has all happened in the last 3 or 4 years. We had the booster club going long before then, but like I say, once you get something good going, you get something good going, and then success breeds more success.
I just want to probably, I don't know if this is going to help your question as well, but what I was thinking as the conversation was going on is that, it's almost in a sense of helping to fill a need. So finding out like the meals, that's the need. And if you can get someone to help you along with those meals, kind of like get a buddy, and hopefully that part of it will grow. And I would start with, since the mentors are the ones that mostly deal with those type of things, is see if they have a list that they pull from that they can get from the kid parents. And maybe you can get them involved and start that way. Just kind of push, kind of strong arm them in the sense of, hey, I need some help with this. This is what I'm trying to do, and it's basically benefiting their kids too. So I don't see how they won't get a buy-in on that. If they're at all involved with their kids. So, and it's a good thing. So it's worth the effort.
And it just goes back to like early when, if your daughter, you mentioned, if she played a sport early on, soccer, like every parent took turns, right? Bringing a snack or bringing a drink. Same concept. And like Ryan's saying, it's like, okay, but this is a little bit more expensive because it's frequent and especially during build season, it's every single day. Yeah. And you just start that rotation until everyone is informed and better, and then you'll have a supportive team. It just has to, you have to start turning the wheel little by little before it gets a lot of motion.
I just think our team could really benefit if we could get more parents involved, because the mentors can only do so much. They're already doing the mentoring, and if they're doing all this stuff, it's like, okay, they're doing everything that they can. But if the parents we could get a group of parents just to take the organization of the meals off of their hands. And that's, the primary mentor is one of the teachers on campus.
I mean, in our first few years, it's like, I was freaking out, like, how am I going to get the food? Because we ride up here on a bus. I don't have a car. We need to get food here. I don't know why. I just didn't think about it. I'm not a very good party planner. And so, it was a struggle to get, and we would have people go off and get fast, and then we saw the other teams, they're so well organized, and they have, we just started, how do they do that? And
the cell it's a safety thing, right?
Yeah.
If more kids leave and come back, that's a potential safety risk, right?
Yeah.
So becomes a safety issue. So if you kind of sell it like,
and that's just it though. I think they've kind of got that part down. It seemed when I went to the parent presentation, it seemed like they sort of got it already organized like that. They talked about, we need parents to bring in food because during build season we're here late, and the kids get hungry. So they don't actually encourage the kids to leave. They encourage parents to bring stuff in. It's kind of like having your hand in too many pots. I mean, they're spread so thin as it is. I'm just trying to figure out.
The nice thing, really, I mean, we have our technical coaches, and they don't worry about any of this stuff during the season. I mean, feeding the kid. I mean, it's really fantastic. And I really want to. If you do a family potluck night, it's really it's fun. And then they have here's another thing that happens too, is that you get these parents involved in the booster club, but a few of them have other things to offer. And because now they're in this booster club, then they keep doing, and I think Ryan was like this, but also like Jay Peterson and some of they start becoming, they kind of get caught up in it, and then they start becoming like coaches. And Jay, he owns his own business. He's really into business leadership, and he's been putting on a clinic for all of our student leaders to.
It is second to none what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean,
it really is. It's a training deal on how to lead people.
Yeah, it's a class on management.
It's an actual class. If you were to go to pay for something like this, it would be worth a lot.
And don't be late.
It is.
Don't be late to his class.
Yeah.
So you get, I guess, one of the things, because our booster club has kind of gelled and become successful, now I think that brings parents to involve themselves in other aspects of the team, and so that's what we've seen.
Hopefully, they see that you're doing something and they just want to be part of it because they don't want to see you doing all the work too. So if anything works, guilt works too.
How about you? What team are you from?
46, 43 in Orville.
So
we have parents that help a bit. It's gone up and down over the years, but it's basically right now it's kind of stuck on the mentors to figure it out. And, I don't know if it's as dramatic, but or the same situation. Yes, I'm just thinking of ways we can try to get that booster club started. We've had parents that have been really involved in the past and currently do, but not like in an organized way.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you go from a few involved parents? I mean, if there's like, I could probably, coerce one or two, because I think I know like two of the other parents, but there's almost, I don't know, I think there's like 60 kids in the club now. It grew really quickly in the last year.
Yeah.
She's a freshman. I don't know most of these kids, most of the parents, but even if I could get a couple people, how do you turn a few parents into an actual booster club to where you get to the point, like how long does that take? I've never started a club.
Okay, maybe you guys, but here's what some suggestions, okay? Create a flyer. Say we're going to start a booster club, and I want as many parents involved as possible, and have an agenda, and go out. Now, for our parent night in mid-September, we make that a requirement. A kid cannot be on our team unless a parent attends parent night. Now, if a parent can't attend that parent night, we have makeup parent nights, but all of them get the spiel. Yeah. They all get that time, treasure, and talent brochure or whatever questionnaire, and that's and then invite them in. You invite all of them. You won't get all of them, but you'll get some, and then we try to sit in a circle and make it by consensus rather than have leave. Now sometimes you will get people that are a little bit domineering and they kind of take over a meeting, and you have to just delicately work around things like that. But you'll if you announce it, put out a flyer, say we're going to do this, and these are our goals, and keep the goals pretty manageable. Maybe, I don't know, does your team put on an FLL qualifier?
Yeah,
or
we do. It's coming up.
Yeah. So if it's not too late, have them organize a real simple snack bar.
We already have that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know everything that they do yet. I know there's no parent group, which is why I came.
Oh, okay. But the parents should be doing that. Well, I mean, the kids help, but I don't as teacher advisor and as a technical coach, it's too much. It's so hard. I mean, robotics is so hard. And so if
I just feel like it's such a valuable program, and now there's so many kids in the program. Their kids are getting so much out of this program. Right. Even if all it is just the camaraderie and learning something new and being able to point to a robot and say, I helped with that. Yeah. That I don't think it's a lot to ask the parents to just give a little bit of their time. Not every parent needs to be super involved, but I think every group like this, especially with the amount of time and money and effort that goes into these robots, every one of you should have booster clubs.
If you email me, I can send you our time, treasure, and talent brochure. I need to put that on
and send them the parent night flyer.
Okay.
It's basically a presentation. You can send it to them.
I think too, you have to look at it like a business. One person in a business cannot run all the, you can't go out and give a proposal and do the actual work and answer the phones and fax over. You can't do all that. And the one thing that in our club, it is divided so that some don't have to worry about anything. I mean, we have to remind them to come and eat because they're so focused on one thing. But if you split up that with the boosters, because it makes the easier. Mm-hmm. The same parents aren't doing the same thing all the time. I mean, who wants to do it every night? I don't. I have other obligations, right?
Knew it.
So if you...
Oh, Jerry.
Now I know.
Hey, I'm trying to bring in those checks, big money. So if you...
do that, okay?
Fine, anywhere.
I had to help get us to Houston in April. But if you I would encourage you, as part of the buy-in, to make that a selling point. They don't have to be there every Friday or every, Tuesday, Wednesday. Find a cycle. You guys do this. You guys do this. You guys do this. And someone is always in it, and sometimes it's really hard to have one person involved. A committee is nice because you have other people taking care of it. because like Mr. Lake pointed out, sometimes we have that friction with the personality. I don't like to get any attention for anything that I do. I just want to make sure the kids have an opportunity to have the needs, met.
Yeah.
I don't need anybody to know that my name's attached to it, and I'd rather not personally. But if you make it like that way to people, then they're like, okay, well, I can be there for an hour, or I can give $40 this month and have another family do, and it just makes it so much easier that way. Because if you say $120, you lost their whole attention span. But if you say
Sometimes we have parents
$20,
that just come and clean up.
Yeah,
That's huge.
that's on the sign up
Because
genius.
teenagers don't.
We have
Will.
we have setup, we have
Yeah.
the food, and then we have cleanup, and people can volunteer for any of that. And sometimes we do dip into the same pond too many times. It's some of the parents are way more active than the others. That's just the way.
But that's also a choice that they make. I mean, myself as a parent, there are times where I've gone in and done something, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sure the parents will come here, but I'm not gonna not do it because I'm there for my kid.
Right.
Not, like she said, you're not there so everybody can say, oh, thank you, you're so awesome. You're there because you want your kid to have a great experience.
So, but now for next year, I don't know. I think one of the things that we've done that really has worked is we jump on it really early in the fall when we have our parent night, and it's required. And we when the parents come in to parent night, we got a bank of computers out, and they have to sign in, and we get their email,
There's actually,
and we
it's weird, 'cause I don't know, okay, and I'm sorry, I keep asking you. But it's so much of what you're saying, what sounds like a lot of things, they basically built this infrastructure already, because at the very beginning of the year, I don't think the parents coming was a requirement, they just had to sign something. So for their club, you have to sign the form,
we want them there,
but
so we
the parents showed up, they had the tablets out, they had the questionnaire, like what can you help with? And a lot of the stuff that you're talking about, they're doing it, it's just, but the mentors are doing it all. It's all the lead mentor, it's all them. I didn't see any parents, the only parents there that were talking about it were ones that were also mentors. So I think, it almost sounds like it should be really easy to create kind of a booster club for us, because we just need to get some parents who want to step up and take over some of it.
Sounds like you should just talk to the mentors.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
talk to
that's
the
exactly
mentors
it.
and pitch them, like, I
Yeah.
can take this off your
I
plate.
am trying to help you,
Yeah.
help me help you.
Yeah. I'm just,
Don't they help
he's talking about the computers and the parent net, and I'm nodding, going, yeah, they did that, But
Just have-
I just,
Well, actually, the
Students.
sitting on the computer, a lot of the kids were involved in that too. But and we have, when they have booster meetings, we have 2 or 3 of our student leaders are kind of assigned to be liaisons with the booster club, and so they're
There's the ones that help that over communication, well, don't do that, because that's not what we really need. Or here's what we're looking for, or something like that. Well, we're tired of pizza, can we do something different? Yeah.
But
it's.
teenagers.
like my favorite meal is we have breakfast for dinner night,
That's bomb.
and they pancakes.
Especially if you get somebody who can make really good omelets.
Yeah.
No, we don't make it that hard.
Oh.
Pancakes.
This woman, tell me this,
Pancakes
this
and bacon.
woman, she's from India. Mother was from India. She made, is it samosas? Is that what? There's the drink.
Samosas.
and then there's
Mimosa is the drink, samosa is the little like pie.
Yeah, oh my gosh, they were so. I usually gain weight during those seasons because the parents drink food. It's so good. Yeah.
We have chili cook-off now?
That would be.
that's at the,
That's at
Open house.
the open house. Well, at the open house, we were trying to think of a way to feed everybody at open house when we debut the robot. So we created a chili cook-off contest.
That's a good
So
way to get
everybody
parents
brings
involved,
a
too.
chili, we have these little goofy prizes but everybody brings a crock pot full of chili, and then we just have to buy a bunch of, corn chips and bowls and some people bring some other food, but it's free, right? I mean, to the team, it didn't cost the team a dime, and everybody gets fed, and we see the robot not work the way it's supposed to, and then, and it's a big celebration, and then we announce, we have a team of judges. Usually the judges are alumni we try to get the kids that come back for, that are graduate, but we grab them and they judge the chili cook-off, and they always get it wrong.
Because they don't pick yours.
'Cause they don't-
Well, and then we're selling like team shirts and things like that. at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah, and the boosters.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh,
I didn't mean to monopolize that, sorry.
no, it's
No, you're good.
What about you guys? You guys have any questions or?
Nuts and bolts.
Yeah, the one question I actually did have was, you guys have a lot of good ideas in your presentation. I was wondering if you guys could share that.
I can't, I keep restarting my computer here, because,
Just email him. You have his email?
No, I don't.
Well,
I wrote
well,
everything
it's
down.
no,
great.
no, this presentation is a Google slide, and there. This presentation is tinyurl.com/1671 Booster Club. This is this presentation. So, and it's, you can download this presentation and enjoy it,
Thank you.
at night when you're having trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
It'll help you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Anything
Mr.
else?
Lane.